The Asian Cup group stage is done, and we are here to recap the final matches that happened today. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and join the Give and Go community as we cover every single one of these matches throughout this entire tournament. Guys, we just surpassed 60,000 subscribers. 60,000. Thank you guys so much for all the support and all the love, and let's keep this community growing. I was looking through our Instagram likes because our videos have been going viral in many different countries, and specifically with Iraq. We had an Iraqi national team player like one of our posts, a player that right now is over at the AFC Asian Cup. His name is Ali Al-Hamadi, who usually starts his games on the bench, but he saw the video and here's thinking that maybe, just maybe, he showed one of his teammates our video.
Dude, that's crazy. That's great to hear. And honestly, this Iraqi team has captured my interest, and I'm cheering for them to make a deep run this tournament, bro.
No, yeah, the Uzbeks, the Iraqis, you could say Japanese, man, they love us online, man. They really do. And so you get to see all these crazy interactions. So shout out to him, man, Al-Hamadi, for supporting the channel and liking one of our posts. Let's get started, man. We had some Group E and Group F action happen today. And the first game that I want to talk about is Bahrain facing off against Jordan, followed up by South Korea versus Malaysia. But Bahrain versus Jordan I thought was very impactful because it sees Bahrain reach the top of the fucking table with 6 points. How do you feel about that, brother?
I mean, they put in a great performance. Let's be completely honest here. That same combination in the midfield and creativity up front that we saw in moments against South Korea was on full display here against Jordan. There were so many good moments for Bahrain. Ali Madan with that slip through ball into Abdullah Yusuf, who went on to score a really nice finish, and rewarding Juan Antonio Pizzi for starting him over Al-Hashash, who had been getting the start in the last two games. So a really nice move there for Bahrain. Honestly, could have gotten another goal through Abdullah. And it ended up going to Marhoun, who just guided it right over the crossbar. It came at him quick, but there was such good movement, such good intent from Bahrain offensively in this match. I think they completely deserved to win this game, but more so also because, dude, Jordan just decided not to show up. They just were like, all right, we're going to play this match. If we lose it, we do not care. And that is exactly what happened here, man.
Yeah, no, after like 60 minutes, I thought it was obvious that Jordan just decided to settle for that score and just settle for, at the end of the day, third place. They probably didn't anticipate South Korea tying Malaysia, but still they were happy with the result. And Bahrain was obviously very happy and thrilled to get the 1-0 victory. And yeah, that Jordanian high line was constantly being under attack, with Yusuf just pushing the line forward always and trying to make those offensive runs, constantly on the counter, man. And they had multiple opportunities. Bahrain saw themselves dominate this match offensively, and they put in a great performance. It's just shocking to me that at the end of the day, they're the ones that end up topping this group. When you look at their last 100 minutes, right, thinking about these 90 minutes they just played, and then the last 10 minutes of their last game, it was just them scoring 2 goals in that span that ends up giving them 6 points with a crazy clutch time winner last match and then a 1-0, very direct, very straightforward victory here against Jordan that ends up seeing them with 6 points, man. I'm still just a little bit in shock with that.
Oh, dude, same. And we'll talk about what happened in that Korea game because, I mean, I don't even know how to really analyze this group, honestly, because this third match day just blew out the water, probably most people's predictions or idea of how this group would end. And you could make a study on if allowing third place teams into the knockout stage is a good thing or not by looking at this group, because Jordan, knowing with 4 points, no matter what happens, they're in. And they completely utilize that fact because they did not even come to compete today. I'm going to be like, this team, not even close to the same team that were fielded in the last 2 games for Jordan. And that's what can happen, though, when you're already qualified with just 4 points. No other team had done that so far in this tournament. If they had 4 points, they went for the win anyway. But Jordan were just like, nah, we're good. We're good here. And it also gets interesting because knowing that if you had topped this group, you would be playing Japan. Yeah. And that had to have come into play, man. I think so. I mean, I could see the coach, Amuta, the Moroccan for Jordan, just being like, all right, guys, I'm going to change half the squad. Just play as best as you can. Altamari, Almardi. You're not going to see the pitch today. We're not going to worry about winning. Let's just go out there, play good old B-team Jordanian football, and let's just see what happens. no stress, boys.
Yeah.
And I think that's literally what they did because they just didn't even try. It's very strange, man.
Yeah, very, very strange. And yeah, I mean, this was just a different Jordan, man. This was like seeing Michael Jordan's son play basketball. It's not the same as seeing Michael Jordan, bro.
No.
It's just a different side. So yeah, I do think, and I'm hearing about it online, people think that there was an element of them throwing the match to be able to get a more favorable draw. And a little bit of the same goes for South Korea, who ended up tying Malaysia. Maybe some people are saying the same thing about that. But at the end of the day, the team that it benefits the most is Bahrain, who was desperately seeking a result here, and they got it.
Yeah, they got it. And again, just to reiterate, they completely deserved it because they were fantastic today.
No, shout out to the Bahraini community, the people of Bahrain. I mean, I would imagine that they didn't see themselves topping this group when the tournament started, but with this result still on paper, I just think it looks really good for them and gives them a shot here to do something crazy in the round of 16.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. I think statistically, they're like the third smallest nation population-wise in Asia. So the fact that they even have like a great crop of players going to the knockout stage, awesome story for Bahrain.
And their goalkeeper, bro, that stocky boy, bro.
I wanted to ask you, man, have you ever seen a keeper with that amount of stock?
Never, bro. That guy, if he was born in the U.S., he would have been a linebacker, bro. That guy should have been in the NFL, man. What a stocky, buff goalkeeper. Never seen anything like it, but I'm glad that he's going to progress into this tournament. Match rating, I'm going to go 6.5 on this one. 6.5. The first half was entertaining once Bahrain broke the deadlock, but then after that, game was basically done.
Well, I completely agree with you. I also have a 6.5 for this match. Bahrain were really fun to watch in that first half.
Yeah. And from an entertainment aspect, I think the match that did deliver in this group was that South Korea-Malaysia shootout.
Dude.
Bro, this result blew my mind because we've been hearing so much about Malaysia and the build-up to this tournament. Oh, Malaysia's a team that's on the come-up. They're exciting. They know how to score goals. They got some energetic players on their team. And I've been waiting. I've been waiting to see that happen. I've been waiting to see that come to fruition in this tournament. But after two pretty disappointing results, I just thought, you know what? It's over for Malaysia. If anything, they're a contender for one of the worst teams we've seen so far at the AFC Asian Cup. Mm-hmm. But then this game arrived against one of the title contenders in this competition. And we see them lay 3 goals on the South Koreans, man. Insane result.
Yeah, and when you look at the first goal that they scored, a really nice steal in the midfield. Faisal then takes it down, almost messes this up, honestly, but recovers very well. Nice little turn, and he kind of fakes the cross, and he just kind of, puts it back in the net. So cheeky,
bro.
It was a fantastic goal to equalize the game 1-1. Then that third goal from Romel, I believe was his name. A really nice one-touch in the box to set up the second touch, which was the ultimate finish to make it 3-3.
Yeah, Kim Min-jae had a long day. He had a long day in the office, and who would have expected that against his Malaysian team? But specifically, Faisal, man, I've been hearing about him. I've been hearing about this guy. I'm glad that he got his moment here at this tournament with that banger of a goal. Because he's one of the shortest players I think I've ever seen on a footballing pitch, bro. He was the smallest guy today throughout these 90 minutes, and he was still able to come up with a really creative and clever play in that quick moment.
Yeah.
So props to him. Malaysia goes up at one point, making it 2-1. And, bro, there were literally images of Malaysians crying in the stands as that happened. I hadn't seen anything like that yet at this tournament.
You could even see the coach. Like, he was so amped up that Malaysia were performing here against South Korea that it was almost as if Malaysia had the opportunity to qualify for the next round, man.
You would think, man.
You would think that if you'd seen the images. It was ridiculous. But that's what football can do, man.
Yes,
it doesn't really matter who you are. If you're playing against a big team and you're performing, it's such a special moment to experience.
Yeah, man. So I'm glad they got those 7 minutes of happiness there as they were up 2-1 on the South Koreans, because following that you had a free kick given to Lee Kang-in, who absolutely nails the crossbar, and in the process hits the goalkeeper, who was having one of the most unlucky days in goal, and it hits him, ricochets back into the net, and it's 2-2 for South Korea behind a ultimately beautiful placed Lee Kang-in free kick.
Yeah, beautifully placed. It was just under the crossbar, forcing the keeper to try to get a fingertip on it. Ultimately couldn't keep it out as it went off of his backhand, off the crossbar. But yeah, then Korea get a penalty?
Yeah, penalty.
There were some really interesting calls throughout this entire match. I guess they got them right. There was several soft. Even the penalty that Malaysia got was pretty soft too. So I guess each team had a soft penalty. I'll take it. I don't care. Both of them put them away. So I think 3-3 ends up being actually somewhat fair, to be honest. But just the fact that I can't believe this result. I really can't. It just doesn't make sense, and it gets me just even more so thinking: were Korea avoiding Japan? I just don't know. I don't know. Where the defender's like, all right, I'm gonna see if Malaysians can finish today.
I actually think that this is a bad sign of South Korea, bro. I think they're actually pretty leaky at the back. Yeah. They have a great front line that has proven itself and showcased itself this entire tournament with amazing goals, amazing plays. But I think time and time again, we're starting to see a very strong vulnerability for the South Korean defense that even a team like Malaysia was able to expose. I think it's a little bit of that combined with knowing in the back of their heads that tying here isn't the worst thing. If anything, it actually gives us an easier path to the final. I think you combine both those factors and you end up getting this result, bro.
Yeah, it was crazy watching both of these games simultaneously. We literally went through every single possible combination of who was in what position, bro.
Yeah.
At one point, Bahrain was first place. They ended first place, but they started in third. Jordan was in first place. Then they were second. Now they're in third place. It was ridiculous, man. The amount of just positional shifts that happened in this group was insane. But again, it's just bizarre. This whole thing, one of the most bizarre endings to a group I think I've ever seen, honestly.
Yeah. I think the one thing I want to say about South Korea is that yesterday you made a point to harp on Japan because you ultimately are concerned about them. Mm-hmm. You were disappointed with what their performance was in the group stages. I think I mirror those feelings when it comes to the South Korean team for me specifically, man. I'm left so disappointed with how they performed in this group stage, allowing 6 goals throughout 3 matches in what's supposed to be their title contending type narrative, what's supposed to be them coming second to only the Japanese in the Asian region. We see them actually struggle in all 3 matches and actually fall behind in a couple as well, and then have to come back and get back into the match. Luckily, their quality up front has been able to carry them against this level of opponents. Lee Kang-in, Heung-min Son, Ki Hwan-chang, they've been incredible when it comes to really having that pressure put on them to tie up the match and do something incredible. But I just think relying on that for the rest of this tournament is going to be a very risky thing, mainly because at back, like we mentioned, they're very vulnerable, bro. They're very vulnerable. And we'll get more into it in our round of 16 preview, but I just want to make it clear that right now I just don't trust South Korea right now. I really don't when it comes to them being able to contend for the title. And I think there's more impressive teams out there, or at least teams that have a more secure system in place that'll end up getting better results than this South Korean team.
Oh, yeah, I completely agree here. I think we said in the last episode, the only 2 teams, in my opinion, that have gone completely off in this tournament and are on fire are Iran and Iraq. And I think South Korea is the perfect example of a team that's just not in full stride. In all 3 games, Korea struggled at one point, or at least for like a good 20-30 minute spell. And that's the scary thing, is that if they did not have Lee Kang-in, dude, I think 2 of these matches, they might not have come back. And that first match against Bahrain, it was 1-1, but it was a Lee Kang-in crazy screamer to get the lead back 2-1, and then Korea took over from there. And then in this match, to start the comeback down 2-1, it was Lee Kang-in off of a crazy free kick. He was the most dynamic player for Korea in the second match against Jordan, and that match was far from easy for Korea, having to fight back to make it 2-2. So Korea has not had a swimmingly group stage. They really have not. So seeing them in the knockout stage, I have the same reservations. So I'll be really curious to see Korea, but honestly, they kind of got away with it by avoiding Japan.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, bro. They completely got away with it, with Bahrain finishing in first. I can't believe the reward is Japan after that. South Korea in second and Jordan in third. Who would have thought after the amazing first 2 matches they played? That's how this group ends up, and Malaysia goes home. But honestly, I'm glad they gave us a cracker of a match right before they left.
Yeah.
Match rating for this one, I'm actually going to go 7.5 on this one. 7.5 for me.
Yeah, I'll go 7.0 only because I only saw like half of it.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. And to finish off the group stages, we had Group F action with Oman facing off against Kyrgyzstan and Saudi Arabia facing off against Thailand. Let's talk about this Oman versus Kyrgyzstan game because there were 3 different narratives, storylines at play. The first one, Oman, looking to get a victory here so they can propel themselves into the round of 16. Kyrgyzstan basically trying to do the same thing. On 0 points, 3 points here is massive for them and gives them a shot of maybe going through on goal differential in that third place slot. And then the third narrative is the Indonesians. Keeping an eye on this match and seeing how the result is going to go. I mentioned before that I was scared. I was worried because I figured that it would become very, very tight when it comes to that Indonesian qualification into the knockout rounds. And brother, it came down to the final match with Bahrain winning in the past group. Yeah. It came down to this game to decide Indonesia's future in this tournament. And so that was what I was interested in watching this game, was all three of those narratives at play and seeing what happens. And it starts off with Oman surprisingly getting a goal. Surprisingly getting a goal through a crazy, crazy bobble.
We had asked the question, could Oman score in the run of play? And they answered that really early on in this match, in the 8th, 9th minute, off of a corner kick where they decided to do the sardine tactic and pack every single Omani player into the goalkeeper's 6-yard box.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah, man.
It actually worked with the scrappiest goal of the AFC Asian Cup so far. Honestly, I watched it 10 times. I still don't really know who scored.
I think it was an own goal. I think.
I do. Yeah. I don't know. The goalkeeper first met it, but he met it weakly. The ball goes straight up in the air, and obviously all the players are still right underneath it. The Omani players go up for it, but the Kyrgyz go up for it too, and the goalkeeper all at the same time reach for it.
Yeah.
And somehow the ball ends up bobbling into the box in the goalkeeper's arms.
Yeah, no,
it's just a crazy sequence.
If I ever end up becoming a goalkeeper coach, I'm putting this whole tape, these full 90 minutes, and I'm telling my future goalkeeping prospects to keep an eye on the Kyrgyzstan goalkeeper, because this man gave us 90 minutes of a lesson on how to not catch a ball. Jesus Christ, dude. For the sake of your life, for the sake of your team, for the sake of your country, catch the damn ball, man. So many times, over and over again, electing to go for the punch or just missing it completely, man. Putting on an example of how to not command space and presence in your own box, man. I was disgusted watching this goal and this performance from this goalkeeper, bro, because the fact that sardine tactics, in which they're more packed than a New York club, actually worked, bro, was a sign of the low quality display that this goalkeeper was putting on.
Oh, yeah. And for the rest of the match, Oman looked very comfortable. They had a lot of the ball, 70% possession at times. And that was just how this game went on. Oman on the ball, attacking, doing what they could. Salah had some really good moments. He was a little wasteful in front of goal. But he also had a really nice through ball at one point where Oman could have gone up 2-0, but the striker completely fluffed the chance. He tried to side foot it when he should have just blasted it.
That's the thing, though, man. Salah manning this offense on his own.
On his own.
Have I ever said that before? I think I have, bro. Because these folks named Salah have been putting on incredible offensive performances. This guy was looking like my boy Mo Salah with the way he was penetrating that defense and trying his best to create some offense. He just had nobody else to help him, man.
Nobody, dude. And what's crazy is that he did as much as he could, and his Omani teammates asked that of him. And what's crazy is that he got literally the worst thing in return with the cheapest goal I've seen in a long time, man. Yeah. The cheapest goal. And we were talking about the Kyrgyzstan goalkeeper having a really bad day. What a catastrophic, shambolic decision that the Omani goalkeeper made when he came out for a half ball. The defender's also running for it. Doesn't see the goalkeeper come out. They both miss it. And Kojo's there to take it home. 1-1. A goal that takes Oman out of the tournament and the Indonesians back in it.
No, Kojo with the mojo. That goalkeeper was running to fucking China. I don't understand why. Dude, the distance between him and the ball. What was he trying to do, man? Just stay put. You're fine. Even if the offensive player gets there, he's on the side of the box. He's on the left wing. You'll be fine. I'm telling you, bro, this is a display, a 90-minute highlight reel of what not to do as a goalkeeper. And Oman loses the lead. Kyrgyzstan ties it. And the Indonesians lose their minds, man. You could hear it. I could hear it all the way over here in the United States, man. They lose their minds because with this result, with the 1-1 result, they end up going through. And so these next 10 minutes got actually pretty interesting with that narrative in mind. And now what I would suspect, both teams having to go for it, because my nightmare when it comes to these situations is both teams ending in a draw. Because I want both teams to go all out. I want both teams to go all guns a-blazing. Let's go for the lead here. Let's put our goalkeepers out there. Let's try to go for it and win the match. And we didn't really get that, man.
Really, man, it got like slightly more stretched, but no one really committed fully. But I think Kyrgyzstan knew that they needed like 3 goals to win it. So I think they were just like, you know what? Let's just play spoiler here and, send the Omanis packing.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they did. And Oman, that's where we get disappointed. But we've been disappointed with them, I think, throughout this entire group stage. They had a good performance against Saudi Arabia, but I just thought they should have done more in that game against Thailand. And I can say the exact same thing here against Kyrgyzstan. They should have done more because they could have, but they just did not take the opportunities that they created.
Yeah, I will say, I think this is an example of the positive side of 4 out of 6 third-place teams going through, because I think the 2 teams that didn't end up going through, that finished in third place, weren't deserving of going to knockout stages, man.
Agreed.
And that's why I was ultimately happy with this result, because Oman and Kyrgyzstan, both of them, ultimately didn't want it and didn't have it to make it to the knockout stages.
Yeah, and China.
China,
Like, if you think about Oman and China not making it, I'm completely fine with that. It's actually better for the tournament. It promotes better football because Indonesia have played the better football over those 2 other teams.
No, they deserved it completely. And so, yes, Indonesians, rejoice. You made it. You survived in those last 10 minutes. I mean, the goal didn't come to like the 79th minute.
Yeah,
so they were tense for a long time, and it came through a crazy, crazy play. Indonesia ends up qualifying, and thus it forces me to prompt this question. Who ends up being the worst performer at the AFC Asian Cup? Who is it? Which country is it?
It has to be India. It has to be. Because they didn't score a single goal.
Yeah.
And they conceded 6. Hong Kong also had a negative 6 goal difference, but they got 1 goal. And then Oman has scored a couple goals. Kyrgyzstan got a goal.
Yeah, got a goal. Kept it tied in most matches. What about...
I mean, not that India played... I would have said Malaysia, but they completely redeemed themselves. Yeah. Completely going 3-3 against South Korea. And so you could probably say like a mixture of like Hong Kong, India, and maybe and Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah.
I'd say those 3 up for contention.
That's the thing, man. I tried to say India when I made the prediction, but I just added a few letters in there, and I accidentally said Indonesia, bro. I accidentally said it, man. But I meant to say India was going to be the worst team at this tournament, bro, because you're right. You're completely right, man. They end up earning that title, and just crazy. Crazy to see these lower-level teams compete in this tournament. But I do think overall, I'd say from what I'm hearing the commentators talk about, the way that other Asian football fanatics are talking about this tournament, it does seem like even the weaker teams are improving. And in general, we're seeing a mass improvement across this entire region that I think was put on display this time around.
Absolutely. I mean, for as critical as we've been, or I've been about, for example, like Japan, Qatar, South Korea, Saudi Arabia, and we'll get to them in a bit, a good percentage of that reasoning is because their opponents have been good. Like, they have not made it easy, man. They really haven't. Every single time that Korea, Japan, or Qatar had struggled, it wasn't because necessarily they were off. They were off, but it's because their opponents played up to their level and made it as hard as they could for those bigger teams to just have their way. So I definitely agree. I think the gap is getting smaller here in Asia, and it's just brilliant to see, bro. Yeah, and it only makes the knockout stages that much more exciting, bro. Because we're going to have some bangers coming up.
We're going to talk about that soon. 6.5 for me on this one. I'm going 6.5, and I'll probably even go lower, too, if I needed to.
I'm going low. I'm going 6.0, man.
I'm down.
Nothing really happened in this game, and both goals that were scored were just of the scrappiest quality.
Yeah, give me that dancing little 6, man. Where is he? There he is.
There he is.
All right, and the last game of the group stage is Saudi Arabia facing off against Thailand in a complete stalemate that ended 0-0. I barely even watched it because I was watching the other game.
Same.
And I only have one note written down for this match, and that note is, I need a Thailand jersey. I need a Thailand jersey. I like their jersey, bro. I like it. It's mainly white, but then it's got these nice little red and blue trim.
Yeah.
Red and blue trim that I think is actually pretty fire. I need myself a Thailand jersey. The Indonesians want me to get an Indonesia jersey. I got some jerseys I need to pick up now from Asia, but specifically that stood out to me because the rest of this game I thought was pretty stale, pretty boring from what I saw. I think I saw a missed penalty in the first half at one point. But Saudi Arabia ends up on 7 points and Thailand ends on 5.
Yeah. From the moments that I saw, Saudi Arabia had a lot of the ball. Honestly, they played very similar in the last 2 games where they had a lot of intent going forward, but nothing concrete, nothing truly inventive. And when they did get a chance, very wasteful. That's how Saudi Arabia have been, though, this entire group stage. A lot of the ball, but not a lot to show for it on the scoreboard. And yeah, it ends 0-0 because of that, because Saudi Arabia just have not been able to put the ball in the back of the net consistently. Radif had a penalty, shoots it straight down the middle, essentially. Terrible kick. Good save from the Thailand goalkeeper. There was I think 3 goals that were technically scored, 2 from Saudi Arabia, 1 from Thailand, something like that. All of them were offside. No controversy here. They just were offside. So there's a lot of VAR action in this game. But ultimately, yeah, it truly was a stalemate. And I think more so, I'm continually more impressed with Thailand's defense, actually. I was not expecting them to be this tight in this group stage because they've been able to hold off against Saudi Arabia and Oman and Kyrgyzstan as well. So really good display defensively from Thailand once again. And they actually kind of went more forward in this game against Saudi Arabia than they did in their last game too. So Thailand look, I'm not going to say strong going into the round of 16, but they look a lot better than I had given them credit for.
100%, bro. I don't think I even had them making it to the knockout
neither
stage.
did
So
I.
they completely surpassed my expectations, and they look really, really well drilled, I think, as a unit and as a team. Al-Dawsari handing off the penalty in the first half.
Yeah, he did.
That was interesting. Yeah.
Maybe Radif hasn't really played. Maybe he asked for it. He's like, hey, can I take it?
I wonder,
don't
but
know.
how much of an involvement does the coach have there? What if the coach was like, no, I want Salem. I want Al-Dawsari to take that penalty.
I think Al-Dawsari will take it if the game meant something.
Yeah.
But since they already had, 6 points?
So this was charity?
I think it was charity. Yeah, it was literally charity. Because Fida started in the second game, El Shedi started in the first game. So I think Mancini was like, all right, I'm going to start my third string striker right now, Radif. And then Salem was like, you know what? I'll give it to you.
And it made him look good, bro. The stadium was literally clapping when he saw him do that. Good guy, Al-Dawsari, bro.
But what a terrible shot, dude. I can't let him live that down. It was a terrible penalty shot, man.
Yeah, awful, bro. And he knows it. He's trying to follow it up with a bicycle kick. He knew he fucked up, dude. Good Lord. Saudi Arabia and Thailand tied 0-0. I gave it a 6.0.
Oh, yeah,
6.0
From
rating
what I
here.
saw, just really nothing in this match. So, yeah, I'll go with you, 6.0.
And that is it for group stage coverage from the Give and Go. We're done with AFC Asian Cup, bro. We're done. No more.
Let's go, man.
No more. I'm done. No more, bro. We're cutting it off right here at the group stage. No more. We're done.
That's it.
Folks, we got our round of 16 preview coming out very soon. We will be previewing every single one of these matches in the knockout stage. We got some incredible football that awaits us, and we'll be talking about it here on the Give and Go. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. 5 stars on Spotify. And we'll see you very, very soon. Stay tuned for our round of 16 preview.